let each of us, in our own way, be grateful for the love that has been shown each one of us, the graduating seniors, and for the opportunities given to us to respond to that love and to share that love with others during these past 4 years. As we come to such a major stepping stone in the path of our lives, we give thanks for all the efforts that have been poured into our lives through our parents, our teachers, and the many people of this community who have done so much to encourage and to enrich our educational environment. We are also grateful for the recognition and the honors that this district has received because of the dedication and the service of the students here this evening. But we know that the real fruit of our labors will be revealed as we, young men and women, move on to accomplish the goals that have been set for us. So our offering this evening is this, that our lives will be touched in such a way that it will enable us to reach our total potential, that we will seek wisdom and strength in all of our endeavors, and that our eyes will be focused so that we can receive every blessing that is in store for us, and we will always be filled with a desire to serve others. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Johnson. As president of this year's senior class, I'd like to welcome each of you to our graduation ceremonies. I speak for each senior before me when I say to every parent what you so rarely hear of us but so richly deserve. Thank you. Thank you for the time, energy, patience, and love you have given us over the past years. We couldn't have made it this far without you. Once again, we welcome everyone, and we are proud to have you spend this special time with us.
Friends, parents, teachers, administrators, and fellow classmates. Well, our 4 years together are coming to a close, and the new chapter in our lives is only beginning to reveal itself to us. It's interesting to look at how we've changed over the years. While I only moved here at the end of 7th grade, I've seen tremendous change in individuals and in the class as a whole. We've gone from whiny brats to hopefully mature young adults who will be heading off in different directions to forge our own individual futures. One of the changes that I found most noticeable as we've grown older is in the way in which we treat each other. With each passing year, we seemed more able to treat each other with consideration and respect. While we still have a ways to go, I've been encouraged to see the change, and I've been glad to be a part of it. This year especially has seen, in my opinion, very considerable change on the part of the senior class. It has been wonderful to see us pull together as a class and treat each other as equals. I've appreciated seeing these changes because I think it is essential to treat others with kindness and most of all respect. Furthermore, I feel it is important to value each person's individual strengths rather than judge that person harshly because he or she does not have a talent in what you or I may feel is important. As we look toward the future, we are heading to college or a job to pursue our strengths, not wallow in our weaknesses. A philosophy of accentuating strengths is a philosophy that will reap us the biggest reward, both as individuals and society as a whole. Here's what I mean. By focusing on our strengths and encouraging the strengths of others, we can build productivity and do wonders for the common good. The world has a multitude of needs, and in order to fill those needs, we require a multitude of different talents. If we as a society say that this particular profession is better than that one, or that this skill is more valuable than the other one, we are setting ourselves up for failure down the road when not all of our needs can be met. By valuing one another's strengths, we can then come to value one another as individuals and treat each other with respect. I think it is imperative to treat people well because no matter what you study in college, no matter where you work or what you do, you will have to deal with other people every minute of your lives. Because we interact so much, if we treat people badly, we decrease their productivity, and by getting upset with them, we decrease our own. Therefore, by focusing on our strengths and encouraging others, we can reach our full potential, both individually and collectively. As we've progressed through high school, it seems as if, at least subconsciously, we've realized this and spurred each other on to bigger and better things. So I say to you, the class of 1997, keep up the good work, and as you go through life, value your own strengths and the strengths of those you meet. And following in the footsteps of Ted Theodore Logan and William S. Preston, Esquire, I urge you to be excellent to each other.
A valediction is technically a farewell, and I am honored to be one of the students who has been given an opportunity to say our goodbyes. Today, as we walk off this field, we are not merely saying farewell to Upper St. Clair High School. We are closing a chapter of our lives and moving into another. Upon our separation, we take many things with us. We take the knowledge, skills, and values which our families, teachers, and administrators have worked so diligently to instill within us. We take the memories of good times and trying times. We take happiness and sometimes sadness. Hopefully, we also take friendships that will last a lifetime. But saying farewell is more than just taking. It means leaving something behind as well. So to the future classes of Upper St. Clair, we hope we have left the school a slightly better place. The class of 1997 has added new trophies to the trophy case and new honors to the long list of USC's accomplishments. But beyond these symbols, we hope we have been a positive role model. For beyond the bricks and mortar, the playing fields and the marching bands, it is the students of Upper St. Clair that make it a place we will never forget. I hope the members of the class of 1997 continue to make the world a better place. So my advice to myself and every member of this class is a short verse which I carry with me and often read. Watch your thoughts, for they become your actions. For they become your words. Watch your words, for they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, for it will become your destiny.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my parents and teachers for helping me achieve my goals and, more importantly, for giving me the faith to actually set them. I would also like to thank the student body, which has taught me more about society and humanity than 1,000 textbooks could teach, for better or for worse. As a token of my appreciation, I offer you the following advice. Do what you will of these last 4 years. Laugh about them, cherish them, try to remember them, or put them behind you completely. But please, whatever you may do, don't dwell on these last 4 years regretfully or triumphantly. Believe it or not, there are more important things than fashionable clothing, expensive automobiles, popularity, grades, college, and a top-ranked football team. Until we discover what these important things are, regardless of a high SAT score or QPA, we have only graduated from high school in a purely physical sense. We have only nibbled at the fruit of knowledge's tough, foreboding skin. So, I challenge you, my fellow students, to turn your chin up in the direction of the sunrise each morning. Simply live your life how you choose to live it, and at the same time, you will discover what is truly important to you. Not to your friends, not to your parents, not to your teachers, not to society, but to you, to yourself. The fruit of knowledge will provide you nourishment day by day and bite by bite. Thank you.
I trust that you will hear enough sentimental words and good wishes and good advice from the other 12 that are honored to speak to you today. So I will just say a thank you to my teachers, my friends, my library pals, and my parents for their love and support throughout the years. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, class of 1997. We finally made it. We've been waiting for this moment our whole lives, and it has finally arrived. As I sat trying to think of what to include in my speech, I was totally at a loss for words. I want to thank my teachers, family, and friends for all the love and support that they have shown throughout the years. But I also want to include a message that all of you can take with you when you leave today. There is a passage entitled "The Station" that has meant a lot to me. In fact, I liked it so much that a copy of it has hung inside the door of my locker for the past year. I'd like to share part of it with you. Tucked away in our subconscious is an idyllic vision. We see ourselves on a long trip that spans the continent. We are traveling by train. Out the windows, we drink in the passing scene of cars on nearby highways, of cattle grazing on a distant hillside, of row upon row of corn and wheat, of flatlands and valleys, of city skylines and village halls. But uppermost in our minds is the final destination. On a certain day, at a certain hour, we will pull into the station. Bands will be playing and flags waving. Once we get there, so many wonderful dreams will come true, and the pieces of our lives will fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. How restlessly we pace the aisles, waiting, waiting, waiting for the station. When we reach the station, that will be it, we cry. When I'm 18, when I graduate, when I finish college, when I get a job, when I get married, I shall live happily ever after. Sooner or later, we must realize that there is no station, no one place to arrive at once and for all. The true joy of life is the trip. The station is only a dream, and it constantly outdistances us. Relish the moment is a good motto. It isn't the burdens of today that drive men mad. It is the regrets over yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves that rob us of today. It may seem that today we have reached our station, but this moment is merely a stop along the journey of life. Although we have come far, there will be many more stops to be made and goals to be met. Today's achievement is not a point of finality, but rather one of vision and hope for all that our futures hold. Live every day to the fullest, so that in looking back on this journey that we call life, we can honestly say that we enjoyed the trip. So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, swim more rivers, watch more sunsets, laugh more, and cry less. Life must be lived as we go along. The station will come soon enough. Thank you.
As I start, I want to thank the Lord, because without him, there is no way that I would have the opportunity to speak before you today. Success in life. Now, what is this experience all about? Well, let me tell you a story of a boy who has graduated at the top of his class. He was so proud when he was elected as junior class president, and then again the following year as senior class president. He was the treasurer of SAD, valedictorian, and captain of the varsity soccer team. Perfecting his reputation became his goal. In addition to this aspect of his character, he loved hearing music and he loved playing music. For 4 years, he attended the most highly regarded college of music in the nation. Constantly, he dreamt of conducting a symphony and of the thunderous applause the crowd would give him. Informed by his advisor of an invitation to be the guest conductor of the New York Symphony, he prepared and studied and thought until finally he was ready. As he arrived at Carnegie Hall, he could just picture in his mind the raving reviews from the critics the next day. He stepped haltingly onto the platform, breathed deeply, and faced the crowd. Setting his arms into the rhythmic motion he had so often practiced, he began to conduct. Astounded that there was no music, he waited and he waited. Shamefaced, he realized that he was still facing the crowd and had not turned back to lead his musicians. And celebrated author Max Lucado observed, "A man who wants to lead the orchestra must first turn his back on the crowd." You see, his problem lay in the fact that his cherished dreams and goals of success centered on his own reputation. He never cared about or even considered the people he was leading. Let me tell you something. Success in life is all about caring for others, not for yourself. A common misconception held about success is that success is simply an experience that increases in value and magnitude with each fulfilled desire for profit, power, or position. Now, while I do recognize that the desire to be successful in life is important, I also realize that there is so much more to life than to society's definition of success. Can I prove my point? Then take this quiz. Can you name the 5 people with the most college acceptance letters? How about the 4 people with the most trophies from sports? Perhaps the 5 people with the most academic certificates. How'd you do? I don't know about you, but my results weren't so great. And what I previously mentioned are by no means second-rate achievements. However, we must realize, understand, and accept that awards are forgotten and trophies are ultimately buried in the corner of a closet. Now, take another quiz. Name 5 classmates who've made you feel special through the sacrifice of their time. Think of 4 classmates who've brightened your school days through their own positive outlooks. Picture 5 classmates who've helped you through trying times. Now how'd you do? I know, certainly easier for me. Now what exactly is my point? To achieve a successful life, you don't need profit or power or position. You do need to take an active interest in your everyday world. You do need to be willing to do the unnoticed, behind-the-scenes work nobody else wants to do. You do need to have the ability and the care to encourage people to excel in their endeavors. To possess true success in life, you must love others before yourself and inspired by your example. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
I went into my room this morning at 12:30 and put my cap on, this one. I looked in the mirror and decided that I looked like an idiot. But then I realized that it would be okay because all these people look like idiots also. But as I looked in the mirror in my bedroom, I realized that it was the same mirror that I had looked in 4 years ago as I prepared to leave for my first day of high school. And, as I'm sure many of us did, I remember staring at myself probably for hours, trying to determine if I appeared cool enough to enter into this whole different and intimidating world we call high school. I'm sure each one of us has a mirror in which we have watched ourselves change. For the girls, it was that mirror that we looked in before we left for our first high school dance, our faces full of excitement and a little fear. For the athletes, it was the mirror that showed us what the thrill of victory and even sometimes the agony of defeat looked like, even through all the sweat. For some of us, we hopefully glanced in our mirror, just wondering if we appeared sick enough to stay home one more day and avoid a famous Dr. Sutter's unit test. It was our personal mirror that told us if we had enough makeup on to appear in front of hundreds of people as Marion the librarian on opening night of the musical. And, inevitable as they are, we've all gone through those times in high school that we did not want to look in the mirror. We did not want to see the tears brought on by disappointments, broken hearts, or stress. But the difficult times always seemed to fade when we cheerfully looked at ourselves through coats and coats of mud after returning home early in the morning from mud volleyball, or as we anxiously prepared to leave for prom on Thursday afternoon. The expression was somewhat odd when our only purpose in life seemed to involve knocking over an exercise bike, throwing cans high into the air, going to Haas's Steakhouse, rap dancing, peeling onions, or fixing faucets. If we really step back and look at ourselves in a mirror today, we can see remarkable changes. The person that we see is a completely different person from the one that we looked at 4 years ago when we were all so cool because we were now in high school. But while we can see a physical change, these changes do not even compare to the degree of change that lies within each one of us. All of the excitements, defeats, accomplishments, victories, friendships, stresses, and laughter that we have experienced have shaped each one of us into the people we are today and continue to become. A mirror can capture an image, but it can never reflect the person that lies in each one of us. With that being the point to live by, I'd like to thank a few people. My parents for 18 years of their love and support. My friends, you guys are the best and will always be cute. And most importantly, God. I wish everyone luck next year no matter where you'll be. And I think you'll all be happy to hear these speeches are now halfway over. Thank you.
I hope that each of us will be able to find a career or a field of study that truly interests him, something in which he can find himself, something he finds captivating. This will make the most tedious classes we take in the following years moderately interesting, and the best classes exhilarating. We all know, especially having just finished high school, that it is difficult to learn something if one does not realize why he needs to be familiar with that particular topic or feels no personal investment. For a somewhat stretched analogy, we will never again see the entire class together like it is today. Although keeping up relationships over the years will be difficult, we will somehow manage. The difference between intrinsic motivation and studying just to get the grade is the difference between maintaining a friendship and exchanging New Year's cards once a year. There is no doubt that we are entering the world coming from a very sheltered environment. It seems, to me at least, that in the interests of making the world a fair place and maintaining a high level of self-esteem on the part of the students, the scale has been somewhat overcompensated in the opposite direction. Though Upper St. Clair is a very pleasant place to live, the pleasantness is at times and in some areas artificially inseminated. I offer then, humbly, a few observations and opinions. 1. Grades are not always the most accurate evidence of learning. 2. We should be proud of our school being ranked number 1 in the state, but we might have gotten more accomplished if we were ranked number 2. 3. Sometimes one has to be able to break the tie. 4. Do not assume by title alone that the valedictorians are the best representatives of the class. I know of other people in our class who would have as much, if not more, to say as those of us who are speaking. 5. Life is not fair, we are all not created equal, and we have no way of accurately predicting which ones of us will succeed. 6. Just because life isn't fair, one may still succeed on the second or third try, so we must keep our minds and options open and not let ourselves be discouraged. 7. Luck is a factor, and so I would like to wish everybody the best of luck for the future.
On my first day of preschool, just down the road at Westminster, my father gave me a small wooden toy train as a good luck present. At the time, I thanked him with a polite smile, but then put the train in the back of my closet and never gave it much thought. A couple weeks ago, when I finally got around to cleaning my room, I found the small wooden train in the back of my closet, but this time it was covered with 14 years of dust. I stared at it for a while and reflected on my long years at St. Clair. The past 14 years of my life have been much like a long, bumpy train ride. Each stop on my journey symbolizes each year of my education, and the various passengers that got on and off the train represent the various people who have left a silent but lasting impact on my life. My train has been fueled by inspiring role models, whom I found not in global peacemakers, but in my peers. And just as the train is always trying to reach a certain destination, I have always been preoccupied with getting to what has seemed to be my final destination, namely this past year going to college. But as I look upon my classmates today and see my first grade brownie troop, fellow Fort Couch social regulars, and a group of incredibly talented individuals who've added life to each of my days at Upper St. Clair High School, I realize how important the ride has been in itself. Before I leave to reach my next stop as a freshman at college, I would like to thank the constant passengers on my train, my family. I'm confident that their values and support will be with me wherever my train should take me in the coming years. To the class of 1997, I hope that each of your own trains takes you to reach your most far-reaching ambitions, and that our tracks will cross again in the future. You definitely made my train ride these past 14 years very memorable. Congratulations, and full speeds ahead.
Well, today is finally the day. We are all graduating. It doesn't seem that long ago since I was scared that I would get lost in that big green monstrosity over there. But how quickly everything changes. Some see graduation as a time when events come to an end. It's a good point to look at it in some respects. But this is also just the beginning to a new and exciting time in all our lives. Several of us will begin new jobs. Others will go to college. Either way, change is unavoidable. We need to treasure these times because they'll never come again. These are the times to enjoy ourselves and in the company of our friends, just these last few months together. Because soon in our upcoming years will be a time to decide who we really are. Time to find ourselves, time away from the bubble of what is Upper St. Clair, being exposed to new faces, ideas, and personalities. Everyone wants to make his mark on the world, to leave his legacy behind. And for most of us, the next few years will serve as a start for this journey. Although at this moment, we are eagerly awaiting the future, we must never forget all the experiences that our 4 years have brought us. We form friendships that may never end, fallen in love for the first time, or perhaps really hated someone for the first time also. All emotions seem to escalate for some reason once we move to the high school. I can still remember my freshman year when my friend just called me after talking to his girlfriend. And he goes, "This is serious now." And he was right. We were finally growing up. 4 years ago, we entered these green walls as children, but now, hopefully, we're going to leave as adults. And as adults, we're all faced with a decision, whether we're going to make a difference or continue to just get through life, not really giving an effort. But I like to do that sometimes, and I know as well as everyone else does. But I ask you, why not give it your all? Everything you have. Just see what happens. What are you going to lose? Perhaps a little sleep here or there, a night out. But what's that really going to matter? All you need is a little desire, and any dream you have can come true. So why not just try? Thank you.
Where's my mom and dad? Thanks for getting me, guys. In my room, I have a lot of quotes from inspirational people hanging on my wall. One of my favorites is from Henry Ford. He said that whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. This statement is something which I firmly believe in and have found solace in over the years. One of the best real-life examples of this quote can be found in the sports world. For decades and decades, people said that a 4-minute mile could never be run. They said that it was, without a doubt, beyond the reach of even the finest athletes. Scientists agreed that it was past the physical capabilities of the human body. Athletes around the world tried to disprove the critics, but failed time and time again. Finally, on May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister ran the mile in 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. After all the years of struggle, a man had finally accomplished the impossible. It was a remarkable feat. But you know what? In less than 2 months, Bannister's time was beaten. And it's been beaten hundreds of times since then. You see, it's a lot easier to accomplish something once you've seen it proven possible. It's easier to follow others, to do things that have already been done. What takes true courage is to ignore those who say things can't be done simply because it's never been done before. At this pivotal point in our lives, I hope you will find a passion in you to strive for something unique, something that makes you truly happy. Do what you want to do in your lifetime and do it your way. Don't listen to the critics, that's too easy. Welcome obstacles in your life, for in overcoming them you become stronger. Through it all, have the strength of character to believe in yourself, especially when it seems that nobody else will. Have fun this summer. I'll see some of you guys down in Myrtle Beach.
In second grade, I popped the big question. I approached my mom anxiously and asked her, "Mom,
How do you make decisions? From the time I had to make those huge choices between bedtime stories or ice cream toppings, I was always terrible at decision making. I'd save up my allowance for months to buy a new My Little Pony or Barbie at Toys R Us, and then the next day I'd take it back because I wasn't sure I really wanted it. We'd spend 10 minutes in the drive-thru line at McDonald's because I couldn't choose between the 6-piece McNuggets or hamburger Happy Meal. In 4th grade, my decision-making ordeal grew. In elementary school, I was in a gifted and talented program. Each year, all of the gifted students had to research a topic and create a project to display for the parents. I couldn't decide what to research, so I figured, why not study the art of decision-making? I eventually changed my topic when I discovered that decision can't really be researched. I should have realized that decision-making is a personal trait, not something found in any book, not something another person can tell you to do. But I didn't discover this until later on. In 7th grade, my decision-making broadened. I had to make those tougher decisions, like choosing my clothes, my friends, where to go on Friday night. Then came high school. 9th grade brought a whole new world of choices. During the summer, my mom and I looked over the book of courses. Just choosing one elective, choir, painting and drawing, band, or crafts, became a huge project. My mother grew angry with my indecisiveness. She reassured me that this decision, and any decision, was only important if it affected me in 5 years. Senior year. After finally picking my choir elective, I figured I was a pro at making decisions. I realized that the logo on the yearbook cover, the color of my prom dress, or the flavor of bagel that I ate for dinner, choices like these made no difference 2 weeks or even 2 minutes after they were made. But I'll admit, decisions are still hard, even if you are experienced. A great and impending decision soon faced me. I'm sure many of you can relate to this. Where do I want to go to college? And what do I want to study? Throughout high school, I was convinced that I wanted to study law or politics or journalism. But after looking over the college books, I now know that about 2 million possible majors and careers exist. So I'm still putting off this decision. I know that I made my parents crazy with all my decisions and all the times I changed my mind in the last 18 years. And Mom and Dad, I'm sorry. You had to help me decide what to talk about in my speech today, but I managed to write the entire thing on my own. From all of my decision-making struggles, I've learned several things. First, to all of you who share the same difficulty with decision-making, a rule of thumb. Making a choice is not as scary and not as important as we all tend to believe. The choices we make will usually be good choices if we stick with them, and the decisions we make are the best if we make them ourselves. In high school, we are faced with many pressures from our peers to dress a certain way, to play a certain sport, or to go to a certain hangout on the weekend. But I have learned that I am more happy doing what I want to do and going where I want to go, even if it is alone. Robert Frost sums it up quite well. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. As we all go our separate ways, let us each make the choices and take the paths that suit us best and make us happy in the future. Thank you.
It is often said that literature reflects real life and teaches valuable lessons. However, it is not as often said that blockbuster movies also have lessons to impart. Just recently, I realized how many of my favorite films have universal messages. For instance, Jurassic Park's Dr. Ian Malcolm warns about tampering with nature and trying to predict the results. He explains that humankind cannot attempt to foresee what will occur, because like a drop of water rolling down a hand, there are several possible paths and no apparent reason why the drop was left the first time and down the middle the next. Not only does this chaos theory apply toward engineering dinosaurs, but also it applies to our everyday lives. The message is clear. No matter how well we try to foresee our futures, there will always be unexpected twists and turns, which will also alter the course of our lives. We can only hope to prepare ourselves to deal with whatever roadblocks we meet along the way. Similarly to Jurassic Park, another one of my favorite movies, Big,
provides a clear message to young people who want to grow up too quickly. In this movie, Tom Hanks' character wishes that he could be big, but of course he never thinks his wish will actually be granted. To his surprise, the next morning he wakes up an adult. At first he is excited as he realizes that he no longer has to follow any parental rules or be bothered by pesky siblings. But all too soon, he discovers that adult life is not as fun as it once seemed. His story perfectly exemplifies the importance of treasuring the time we spend as children and always remembering the child inside. For all our lives, we have been surrounded by advice for our futures. From the movies we have seen, to the music we have listened to, from the books we have read, to the television we have watched, from our teachers and mentors, to our family and friends, all have helped to prepare us for what is to come. As we depart the safe havens of our homes, it is these lessons about life that we must take along. The knowledge we possess now, and that which we have yet to uncover, holds the key to our futures. Thanks.
Dr. Pope, Mr. Cohen, Board of School Directors, parents, teachers, friends, and members of the class of '97. On this beautiful day, welcome to the 1997 Upper St. Clair High School commencement. According to Webster's New Collegiate Dictionary, the verb commence has two meanings: to receive a degree from a school or university, and to have or make a beginning. Both definitions apply here today. On one hand, to commence marks an ending. A formal educational program is concluded. We celebrate the end of a traditional Upper St. Clair education for the class of '97 this afternoon. On the other hand, to commence signals a beginning, a new start, as Dave pointed out earlier. For most, as a matter of fact, 97% of this class, another educational initiative will begin at a college, university, or technical school. For others, this commencement marks the start of a career in some chosen vocation or field. In any case, the class of '97 is certainly well prepared to encounter these new beginnings, as evidenced by their numerous awards, scholarships, and accomplishments. Among other achievements, the class of '97 represents 6 National Merit Scholars and 19 commended students, 13 valedictorians, 3 recipients of the Superintendent's Academic Achievement Award, 5 students recognized as all-state performers in music, 3 WPIL team championships, 3 individual WPIL champions, 1 state championship, 3 students attending the University of Chicago, and 3 students going to Princeton University, a remarkable achievement for 1 high school and 1 class. Most impressively, 2 students are going to attend that bastion of academic excellence in upstate New York, Colgate University, my alma mater, in spite of all the toothpaste jokes. Our school district is widely recognized for its excellence in education and the achievement and performance of its alumni. The class of '97 exemplifies the high standards represented by the tradition of success at Upper St. Clair. Dr. Pope, as principal of Upper St. Clair High School, I do hereby certify that the students gathered before us have met the requirements for graduation as mandated by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Upper St. Clair Board of School Directors. Dr. Pope, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Upper St. Clair High School class of 1997.
Four years ago, I gave a commencement address to the class of 1993, the class of which my oldest son, Ryan, was a part. I waited 18 years to give that speech, and I could honestly say to the class of 1997, and especially to my youngest son, Adam, I've waited even longer to give this one. There's something very special for a superintendent or any teacher who has a child in a graduating class. I want to thank Adam for allowing me to be part of the learning and the fun that he has enjoyed in his years at Upper St. Clair. I know that many times it's been difficult to be related to me, but most of the memories that I have are special to me now and will be special to me for the rest of my life. They will keep me involved even though I will no longer have children of my own in the graduating classes I may address in the future. My speech today will have a similar theme to the one I gave in 1993. That is, some thoughts I want to share with you before you leave the field today. I hope I am not speaking just for Kim and me, but for all the parents and grandparents who are sitting out there watching you, the last graduating class prior to the renovation in Upper St. Clair. Let me begin by thanking Nancy Kilbane, one of our middle school teachers, for giving me a copy of a book titled Hold Fast Your Dreams, a compilation of 21 commencement speeches. I read all of them. It was inspired to include many references from the 21 speeches in my speech today. My memories of the class of 1997 begin 8 years ago in Deer Valley. One of the most special times that a parent has with a child was even greater for me because Adam was my first child to go through the Deer Valley experience. I can remember us sitting in the woods at Deer Valley on our magic spot. I have very fond memories of building a birdhouse, a terrarium, taking a wonderful night walk, and seeing the stars and constellations as adults and students, parents and children, together in a most meaningful way. In fact, in many ways, that was the last time that we talked with each other as equal learners. Since that time, I have been trying to give you the benefit of my wisdom, experience, and advice, and you've been patient in allowing me to preach and actually convinced me on several occasions that you were interested in listening. Well, let's agree that today I will express my thoughts and feelings on behalf of your mom and me and all the parents, and you will humor me by listening on behalf of all the students. Thought number one is that it's a very different world you're about to enter into today than the one I graduated into in 1964, and even the one that your brother graduated into in 1993. We have never been more culturally diverse. The new movement toward multiculturalism is long overdue. And as you look around this class, you look around the world you're about to enter, make it a point to honor all of the differences that make America truly the land of the free. In the words of the late Arthur Ashe, do not treat minorities paternistically or patronizingly now. Do not view them any longer as an accessory like a belt or a scarf that adds just a bit of color to the ensemble. The lesson for today in 1997 is obvious. Only tolerance and inclusion can be the answers. I am so optimistic about the future because of the children sitting before me today. I don't see the baggage of racial, religious, and ethnic prejudice that plagued my generation, evident in the students graduating today. I see and feel comfort and compassion among the students in this class. It was evident with Changes, the partnership with the students from Brashear. It was evident with LINK, the partnership with the School for the Blind, with the Unified Sports Program, the Youth Day of Caring, the Special Olympics, the work on Habitat for Humanity, and countless other examples of closeness among you and a genuine caring for each other built on your attitude of acceptance and inclusion. Please replace the baggage of the past to create a divisiveness and hatred with that of love. A love will unite all of us who share the same dreams and hopes, and our greatest need will be to help each other be happy and successful. Thought number two, make it a point to stay in touch with your best friends from high school. Find them today and make it a point to assure one another you'll be in touch regardless of where you find yourself next year and in the future. Don't wait for the first reunion to find your best friends. Kathy Guesswhite, who is the author of that Kathy comic strip, in her commencement speech to a graduating class from the University of Michigan said, "Look at what you love on graduation day. Take the classes, the friends, and the family that have inspired the most in you. Save them in your permanent memory and make a backup disc. When you remember what you love, you will remember who you are. If you remember who you are, Adam, you can do anything." Thought number three, I don't think there is a question that any adult ever asked any teenager that could be answered with a single word, whatever. Please promise never to answer your parents' questions with, whatever. Fourth thought, borrowing words from Marian Wright Edelman, who is the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, I wish that your generation will raise your sons to be fair to other people's daughters. I am the father of 2 sons, and I want them to share, not just help with parenting responsibilities, which include buying cool enough tennis shoes, teaching children to drive the family car, selecting a college, and deciding where to go before the prom. And speaking of parenting responsibilities, let me offer one other observation. Adam, there is only one truly pretty child in the world, and every mother has her. And as you leave here today, you may begin to search for your future partner. Remember, men always want to be a woman's first love. Women have a more subtle instinct. What they like is to be the man's last romance. Before you ask anyone to marry you, remember what Margaret Mead, the world-renowned anthropologist, told us. Marriage worked well in the 19th century because people only lived to be 50. Mrs. Mead's warning to the contrary, I believe that marriage and children are well worth taking a risk. If your parents didn't agree with that, and my parents before them, none of us would be here today. That is really the important thought. Anything that is worthwhile doing is going to take a risk. Neil Simon, the playwright, once noted, don't listen to those who tell you not to take a risk. If Michelangelo did not take a big risk, he would have painted the floor of the Sistine Chapel, not the ceiling. And it would surely have been rubbed out by now. Risk is part of experience, it is part of growth, it is part of success. Taking a risk is what we prepared you to do. We hope we have prepared you to take that chance before you leave this field today. Not the risk of getting married, but the risk of graduating from high school, getting started with your life, and letting your mother and I get a new start with ours. One thing you can be sure of, Adam, is that you are the same person today as you were 5 years ago, and will be 5 years from now, except for 2 things, the people you meet and the books you read. Remember that. Try to meet as many people as you can and read constantly. Remember that the book is still the greatest man-made invention of all, machine of all. Not the car, not the TV, not even Nintendo. It's the book. Another thought, whatever you do in life, do with passion. The world is filled with talented and gifted people who have failed because they lack passion. Passion is a flame which burns so hot it cannot be extinguished by despair, misfortune, or not being home when your girlfriend calls. Remember that any idea or thought, regardless of how novel and awe-inspiring, without passion will remain simply that, an idea. You are no different from the graduate sitting next to you who might be the one to solve the world's energy problems, or the one to find a cure for cancer, or the one to bring about the most important changes yet in human rights. You are no different from the one in front of you who might inspire your children with his or her brilliant teaching. You must have passion to make those kinds of changes, to make those kind of impressions, and make that kind of impact. Be passionate. You have to care. In summary, let me thank the graduates of 1997, and especially Adam, for allowing me to be part of your life. While you may not remember this day, I will never forget it. This is a very special day for all of us parents and grandparents. This is the day when we promise you unconditional love, and nothing you can ever do or say will diminish that. Let me finish with this simple poem from a book I found in San Francisco called For My Son. Remember, we gave it to you on Valentine's Day in 1994. Remember, son, if you are a success, I'll be as happy as can be. Remember, too, that when you fail, you can always come to me. There is little in life we cannot share. We'll share the bad times, too. For my love has no conditions, son. That's what I give to you. That unconditional love should guarantee me at least one hug when you come through the line to get your diploma. On behalf of everyone here, thank you for a wonderful day. Remember, the great thing about the future is it only happens one day at a time. Let's make today the very special first day of all of our futures. Congratulations to the class of 97. Mr. Cohen, it is my great pleasure and pride to present to you the Upper St. Clair class of 1997.
friends and family, welcome. Class of 1997, today we are here to honor you, to celebrate all of your accomplishments, and to reflect upon all that lies ahead of you. To you students and your families, I extend my sincere congratulations. To your teachers and administrators, my gratitude and respect. Today we witness the coming of age of your generation, the approaching day when you will be in positions of leadership, in industry, in your professions and communities, and in all levels of government. Life around us is difficult. Our planet is being destroyed. Our country is rife with domestic abuse and poverty, with racism and intolerance, and we are burdened with the inability or unwillingness of our political leaders to cooperate with each other in finding workable and lasting solutions. Political, ethnic, cultural, and religious dogmatism threaten to destroy the diversity that once made us so strong. We seem to have forgotten that our differences are among our greatest assets. Our problems as a nation and a society are numerous. They are vast, they are serious, but they are not insurmountable, and you can help to make them better. Ladies and gentlemen, part of the solution to our nation's problems sits before you here today in these well-rounded, independent, educated, and confident graduates. Class of 1997, you are our future. You are our hope. Look to yourselves to make this world of ours a better place. Trust in yourselves and fulfill your potential. As you leave Upper St. Clair High School, I offer to each one of you this advice. First, keep yourselves educated. We have not taught you all that you need to know or all that you ever will know, but we have given you the tools that you will need to continue learning. Most of the knowledge that will be part of your everyday adult life has yet to be discovered or created. Your education is your greatest asset. It will be the lantern by which to illuminate the road before you. A developed mind is our only hope for wisdom, security, and happiness, and an educated society is our only hope for a better world. Educational theorist John Dewey considered education not a preparation for life, but life itself. And John Kennedy believed that our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. Take control of your education. Whether you are college-bound or not, be responsible for your intellectual, emotional, and spiritual development. Second, live by giving and not by taking. Give of your time and your talents. Get involved in something of interest to you that will help someone else, maybe as a participant in a religious, charitable, or community group. Maybe you can lead the effort to build a new and renovated school in your community. Help someone become interested in learning. Giving of yourself will make this world just a little bit better for someone else and a whole lot better for you. Third, always be responsible for yourself and respectful of others. As tough as this world is, almost anything can be accomplished without being confrontational. Fourth, always strive to do your best. There's no satisfaction without it. Without always trying to do your best, you'll never know what you might have accomplished. Fifth, embrace honesty in all of your dealings with all people. And finally, learn to be at ease with yourself and to appreciate all that you are and all that you have. Life is not easy, it is not always fun, but the quality of your life will be shaped by your approach to it. Sometimes it is easier to dwell on the negative, but if you can focus on the positive, your future will be more fulfilling, and you will be happier and more successful in all that you do. Class of 1997, on behalf of the entire school board, I again offer you our congratulations and our best wishes for a successful, happy, and healthy future. 1997, rise to the challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in celebrating a brighter future, a future that will be made brighter by the class of 1997.
Christina Ann Johnson, President, Class of 1997.
David McCleary Nicholas, Treasurer, Class of 1997, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Amber Page Timmons, Secretary, Class of 1997.
Catherine Julie McClintock, Vice President, Class of 1997.
Kelly Lynn Huff, President, Student Council.
Jessica Perry Gabler, Vice President, Student Council.
Alicia Monica Avik, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Colin Alexander Ash, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Stanley Matthew Bilski, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Emily Anna Dell, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Jennifer Nancy Heffernan, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Carol Whitney Griffin, Executive Officer, Student Council, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Heather Lee Holsinger, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Jonathan Howard Katz, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Scott George Pasquini, Executive Officer and Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Sheila Krishnan, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Jennifer Elizabeth Walkoff, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Amy Constance Petner, Valedictorian, Class of 1997.
Brian Elizabeth Acamando.
Travis Richard Michelle.
Joseph Francis Alessandro.
Anne Marie Mazurek.
Lauren Andrew Anderson.
David William Mann.
Gina Francisca Ariana.
Ryan James Malley.
Scott Carlo Astorino.
Lee Catherine Mineta.
John Chris Baloris II.
Aaron Lee Marsh.
Lindsay Ann Barzak.
Brian David Martin.
Kimberly Kristen Barna.
Scott Emmett Martin.
Michael Oliver Bernard.
Kirsten Ursula Carolina May.
Srimati Balakrishan Bathay.
Alexis Nicole McClure.
Justin Allen Bayer.
Shauna Louise McDonald.
Jessica Marie Bell.
Brandon Charles McKelvey.
Stephen Bennett.
Matthew David McMahon.
Segev Yosef Benzvi.
Kirsten Janae Meacham.
Merritt Lynn Bernath.
Colin Marie Merwick.
Melissa Lee Berquist.
Matthew Howard Messer.
Thomas Ryan Beerus.
Matthew Michael Myers.
Jason Matthew Basson.
Melissa Ann Michael.
Nathan Leonard Buchkowski.
Jeffrey Scott Miller.
Brian Donald Borneman.
Catherine Rice Miller.
Matthew Robert Boss.
Mark Walter Miller.
Beth Ann Bowman.
John Philip Mills.
Colleen Elizabeth Boyle.
Catherine Marie Morgan.
Paul Alexander Briggs.
Alexander Mason Morrison.
Luke Daniel Brindle.
Vanessa Lynn Morrison.
Ashley Ann Brown.
Ryan James Mulholland.
Jonathan Travis Brown.
Ryan Thomas Mullaney.
Timothy Mark Bryson.
Shelley Ann Munzak.
Aaron Kathleen Beekle.
Brian Patrick Murphy.
Christopher Anthony Bugle.
David Bradley Murray.
Robert James Bunn.
Kimberly Christine Musial.
Brian Allen Byers.
Samantha Aubrey Myers.
Michael Albert Byrne.
Matthew Abraham Nader.
Cyrus Farhad Jamshid Kama.
Hans Ho Nam.
Jessica Elizabeth Camus.
Robert Daniel Nathan.
Julie Marie Cardello.
Amanda Lauren Naughton.
Christine Marie Castori.
Rachel Margolius Newman.
Bradley Russell Church.
Rebecca Judith Nicholson.
Suzanne Cimaroli.
Erica Helen Noble.
Jason William Clark.
Sarah Catherine O'Connor.
John Bradford Clark.
Kelly Lynn Ogrodnik.
Michael Lawrence Conley.
Michael Charles O'Hara.
Barbara Correa.
Christy Lynn Olds.
Teresa Marie Costino.
Alexander James Olshansky.
Mary Lynn Cullen.
Christine Ann Julia Palmieri.
Justin Lawrence Delzell.
Ariel Juana Paredes.
Andrew Mark Davis.
Frederick Nick Pasqua.
Scott Daniel Davison.
Sanjay Hirobe Patel.
Stephanie Lynn DeCecco.
Mark Russell Paternostro.
Joseph Delavecchia.
Tara Petrinas.
Diana Cassandra Demetrius.
Brendan Michael Pester.
Leslie Cheryl Denenberg.
Helen Nicole Petraglia.
Aisha Marie Dennehy.
Erin Elizabeth Phelps.
Diane Lynn Dennison.
Megan Elizabeth Pearson.
Samir Sunil Desai.
Jeffrey Daniel Petrogallo.
Beth Marie DeSantis.
Jason Albert Pietropalo.
Rebecca Jane Desmond.
Heather Corey Pykudis.
Leah Annette Grace Dillingallen.
Robin Lynn Piney.
Catherine Mary Donahoe.
Richard Jacob Pisani.
Peter Matthew Doyle.
Adam Colin Pope.
Raymond Michael Drudis.
Benjamin Allen Potter.
Luke Matthias Fannin.
Edward Richard Protzko III.
Richard John Farah.
Benjamin Frank Proville.
Catherine Ann Firestone.
Alyssa Ann Radu.
Brett Michael Fisher.
Natalie Kathleen Ramirez.
Ryan Christopher Fogarty.
Michael Howard Ray.
Sarah Jane Frame.
Colin Kyle Raymond.
Mary Elizabeth Franz.
Eric Christopher Render.
Jody Lynn Friday.
Brian Anthony Ritchie.
Megan Smith Friday.
Janice Lillian Roberts.
Toyoshi Fukuyama.
Joanna Beth G. Ross.
Jocelyn Geisler.
Kurt Allen Rowland.
Keith David Gergich.
Matthew Joseph Rubino.
Thomas Joseph Gill.
Heather Diane Rudowitz.
Megan Maureen Gillespie.
Lucianne Botelho Sakata.
Jeffrey Lawrence K. Gibson.
Bonnie K. Salmond.
Natalie Marie Glinka.
James David Sampe.
Kyle Douglas Glove.
Leanne Shebeth.
Ignacio Gomez.
Julia Marie Scheib.
Arthi Gopal.
Kristen Ann Shine.
Suzanne Vanessa Gorey.
Brian Joseph Schlatterer.
Kimberly Marie Gossick.
Kevin Michael Schlatterer.
Justin Jared Grace.
Brian Robert Sheets.
Kirsten Ann Gray.
Kirsten Adina Schultz.
Charlotte Ann Grover.
Benjamin Andrew Scott.
Ian Vaughn Hamilton.
Marissa Ann Selter.
Christopher William Haynes.
Christopher Sean Seymour.
Adam Timothy Hartman.
Mara Elizabeth Shea.
Catherine Carly Hartwig.
Julie Cass Sherwin.
Charles Patrick Houff.
Lauren Brooks Simon.
Dean Patrick Heffernan.
Gemma Francesca Sixsmith.
Adam Henderson.
Jonathan Lloyd Sixsmith.
Anthony John Henderson.
Brian William Scruck.
David Joseph Hennessy.
Micah Dion Slade.
Amy Joy Hernandez.
Jubal Abram Slivka.
Margaret Gregson Hess.
Ashley Cross Smurl.
Howard Leslie Hewlett III.
Stephen Paul Smizer.
Mary Elizabeth Heinman.
Stacy Alana Snyder.
Sasha Juliet Knapp.
Paul Joseph Sofer.
Craig Evan Hoffman.
Damon Todd Spencer.
Mary Beth Helen Hoffman.
Brandon Andrew Spicer.
Catherine Ann Hubner.
Shannon Elizabeth Spickard.
Kurt Charles Hettner.
Nicole Lynn Starselek.
Christopher Dean Jamerson.
Elizabeth Lee Stevens.
Anthony Matthew Jesselneck.
Jamie Lynn Stewart.
Eric Ivan Johnson.
Jennifer Lynn Stalker.
James R. Johnson.
Candace Ann Stocky.
Joseph Philip Joyce.
Jeffrey Adam Stout.
Natalie Lynn Juliuson.
Thomas Elliott Sullivan IV.
Carrie Ann Calden.
Douglas Richard Susak.
Sanjay Kapoor.
Christopher Lewis Tater.
Lindsay Marie Karras.
Catherine Marie Tatusco.
David Jason Clark.
Jonathan Kenton Tacalby.
Jennifer Elizabeth Kellner.
Austin Edward Face.
Brandon Barry Kelly.
Brian Robert Thomas.
Kirk McDaniel Kelsey.
Kristen Lee Thorson.
Jeffrey Allen Kennedy.
Allison Lynn Tukarchek.
Harish Narayan Kamani.
Jennifer Ann Totten.
Emily Ann Keener.
Jana Lynn Torchek.
Scott Adam Kilwine.
Charles Turner.
William Edward King.
Christine Marie Valecki.
David Bruce Cabler.
Daniel Joseph Bogle.
Amanda Beth Knudsen.
Julie Elaine Wagner.
Christopher Brian Kessner.
Leonard Albert Wall.
Courtney Melise Kotkin.
Daniel Chang Yi Wang.
Daniel Adam Kowalczyk.
Sachin Vijay Warty.
Shane Jeffrey Krumite.
Heather Marie Watson.
Nicole Marie Langlois.
Tracy Lynn Wazenegger.
James Christopher Langford.
Patterson Sylvester Weaver III.
Lisa Ann Lasota.
Rosalind Germaine Wise.
Michael Charles Lavazoli.
Kimberly Ann Welsh.
William Christian Law.
Kristen Elizabeth White.
Amy Noel Lee.
Ryan Grant Williams.
Kevin Michael Leland.
Robin Lynn Willard.
Christy Lynn Lesnick.
Benjamin Charles Willett.
Karen Elizabeth Lestitian.
Brian David Winkler.
Jennifer Lynn Lewis.
Daniel Mark Wolf.
Timothy Douglas Lowenhout.
Matthew Allen Woodford.
Aaron Mara Lucas.
Brooke Lee Wyatt. Megan Anna Yost. Farrar Zahid. David Jonathan Zupon.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of 1997.